Stacy the Blackfeather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacy style. And today I thought I would share with you some of my absolute favorite card combos that I've been jamming with for this particular season. And I'm a Gemini moon, so I tend to, get bored a little bit easy. So, I'm going to do this right now, and this is how it is right now. And, maybe 6 months from now, there'll be a different video on the current card combos that I'm really enjoying working with. But for today, here is what we've got. And I'm so excited to be starting today out with the Slavic Legends Tarot and Into the Shadows Oracle. So this is just such an incredible combination. I had no idea it was going to be this cool. So Slavic Legends Tarot is Taroteka. I love this little book. It's a magnetic box. It's super fun, super durable. They are a rose petal finish, which I love, that matte energy. I love the card back. Here, it's just so beautiful. We've got a lot of vines and flowers, and it's kind of, Gothic, medieval, and the imagery is the same. So just kind of looking at that cardstock, it's actually a really good quality cardstock. And okay, so we pulled the Nine of Swords here. So actually, I'm going to flip them over here, and I'll show you a few of these. Here is the Death card. And I love this particular depiction because it is celebratory. We've got color in here. Yes, she's riding the skeleton horse in the background here, and she's riding through the snow. She's riding into, town, but there's celebration. She's doing it with a purpose. She's not doing it to cause harm. She's doing it to, to bring some new into the mix. Here we have the Six of Cups. This is beautiful with the deer. I love the foresty energy. Each of these cups is very ornate in its bejewel bedazzle. Each of the cups has something growing out of it as well, which I think is really cool. Here we have, it's a 6-day. Here we have the Six of Swords. Support and grace. Moving on to calmer shores, we have these kids that are being taken. Hi, Neo. These kids that are being taken to, their next destination. Here's the Hermit card. Beautiful. Reminds me of the Green Man in the Celtic tarot energy. And I love all of the different green colors that can be found in this particular depiction. Here's the Eight of Coins. So that card of mastery that's coming up here. He's really, it's attention to detail. He's got all of his tools. Everything is in order. Very much a Virgo card. Queen of Cups. Let's take a look at a queen. Oh, she's gorgeous. She's holding a cup. She's looking into the cup. It's almost like she's scrying. Sorry, did I say Queen of Pentacles? I meant Queen of Cups. She's holding a cup. Oh boy. She's holding a cup. It looks like she's almost scrying into it. It does look a little bit like maybe she's on the sadder side, addressing her emotions, but she's out in the marsh. She's out in the area where she finds her balance. One more, we'll look at the Three of Cups here. That beautiful card of celebration. Just loving it. And then we're going to take a look at our Into the Shadows. And this is a fairly new deck to me. I was so excited to order it. It comes from Right Avocado Witch. She's in Canada, and the imagery on this deck is just, oh my God, it's stunning. So this particular deck, Taroteka decks do not come with a guidebook, but this one does. It's an oracle deck. And the guidebook is really beautiful. As you can see, we have like this little tuck box cigarette pack. Not a fan, but it's a better quality than most. The guidebook is really good. It's got that shiny quality. Everything is in color. There's little exercises or journal prompts. Every single one of the cards is in color and depicted. I think there's 44 cards in the deck. Take a look at this card back. Oh my goodness. It is absolutely gorgeous. So if we look at the card backs here, they're kind of similar in their structure. in that we've got, something sort of center, at the center of the card, anchoring the card. There's a roundness to it. So this is this, flower of life. I'm sure this is a Celtic knot of some kind. I'm just not familiar with, or a Norwegian knot, Bulgarian, something like that. We've got the moon, sort of depicted in here. Again, this is the same cardstock quality as this, which I think also really makes it a fantastic pairing. This has a little bit of brighter, bolder colors. You'll see as we go through, but somehow it just seems to speak to me. Excellent card quality, excellent card stock, that beautiful rose petal feel. So let's just have some fun with this. And it's really interesting. I've watched a lot of deck combo reviews on other people's channels, and I see why they work, and I love the combos. And then when I do the combos for myself, I always pick weird things. So I'm just going to share this with you. You guys might be like, oh my God, like it's like it hurts my eyes. Like, what is that about? But this is just, it's the way that they speak to me. So we start off here with the Three of Cups, and we've got the Lover, seek healthy expression. I feel like the messages really just tie in with one another, and the imagery is not that far off either. Page of Swords and the future, embrace your dreams. And like this is a black bordered deck and this is a white bordered deck, but the border is, I want to say, kind of nondescript. It's a part of the image and a part of the picture. And me with my little Virgo-ness, I have a really difficult time with things that like don't match, matchy. And yet this combination speaks to me. 8 of Wands, so swift release. We've got the Phoenix, driving that information. And then what's the message? Intuition, trust your inner wisdom. There's a lot of information coming at you. Trust it. This is what it's all about. I just love the messaging that comes through here. 2 of Cups, desires, challenge limiting beliefs. I mean, it's like they're made for one another, right? Queen of Coins, release, let it go. So she's surrounded in all the busy. And this card is surrounded in all the busy. And it's like she's hanging on to this coin. And in this one, it's like, I've let everything go and I'm opening my heart space. We'll do a few more of these. 10 of Wands and values. What makes up your beauty? So when we're talking about that rewards and the burdens that go with it, what is she valuing? And why is she valuing it? Because she's got a rough uphill climb in the snow. She's an older woman. Not to say that she can't do the walk, but clearly she's burdened. Clearly it's really hard. So what are you valuing right now? Do you need to carry all those logs up to you? Can you do them 2 at a time or 4 at a time? The values, what makes up your beauty? This is beautiful. A Chariot, forgiveness. Mistakes bring wisdom. The chariot is a card of victory, and it's melding opposites. And so whenever we have to meld opposites and do things of that nature, sometimes it can create disagreement. It can create conflict, where there may be a word spoken that you wish you could take back, right? So asking for forgiveness or forgiving someone, mistakes bring wisdom. I also love that there's a white owl and the white dove here in this depiction. Here we have the Knight of Cups and freedom. Live in the moment. So visually, this might not be like for everyone. 9 of Swords, misspoken. Spoken words echo forever. Yes, you're haunted by the words that were spoken. I feel like for me, it's less about the picture in the images and more about the messages, how the messages play into each other. Queen of Cups, the other, turn towards empathy. She's crying, as we said here. She's crying a little bit, and it would make sense. She's turning towards empathy here. Maybe there is an issue with other that is causing her to go into this space. Also, it looks like it's creating a vessel for these flowers to be held. She's got a vessel in her hands. Justice, desired traits, thoughts become reality. Yeah, there's something about this combination that makes me a very happy girl. All right, and our next combination is the Glimmerwalker Tarot and the Death Doula Oracle. And once again, you're going to see we've got a lot of like stark white, and then we've also got, this is kind of a darker deck. So I surprised myself with this exploration of card combinations, and I'm not doing it like everyone else, and not because I don't want to. Just because that's just the way it seems to be working out. So the Glimmerwalker Tarot is in a beautiful magnetic box. It's a very good quality box. It has a really lovely guidebook, and this is the design of the cards. It's a black and white book. It's in Chinese and in English. And it's quite thorough. It's, again, black and white, so you don't see the colors of the pictures, but there are some pictures of the major arcana in here. And what I love about these cards, so the card quality could be a little bit better. They're thin. They do have a little bit of a sheen to them, you can see, but not super crazy. They are linen. That's why they're so thin. But look at the gilding on the side. And I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's almost like a galaxy gilding. Like there's sparkle in the sort of midnight black or midnight blue gilding. It's really, really cool. So I'll just walk you through this a little bit, and then we'll bring the companion deck in. So here is the High Priestess, and what a unique depiction of the High Priestess. She's actually not the focal point of the card. The focal point of the card is the sacred space that she has created, the moon cycle, and everything that she has created, and the place that she is sitting in. And I feel like it's her energy and what she's receiving that is creating this. So she's going to this space to receive. Let's take a look here. Oh, we got the Fool card. Here's the Fool. So I love the use of color in this deck. I love that you are seeing the shadow, you're seeing the journey. You're seeing the brambles, perhaps the pitfalls, but you're also seeing the portal of light, that next journey that when you shine light on this area, it's going to no longer be scary or unknown to you. It's part of making the unknown known. Here's the Six of Shadow. Shadow in this deck, I believe, is Cup, if I'm not mistaken, Cups. So that's the Six of Cups, and you've got the two people here coming up. Here's Temperance card. So we're seeing that hourglass energy, the balance. You're seeing the crown. I'll show one more here. Justice. So weighing the heart and the feather. That's a very, I want to say that's a very Egyptian kind of philosophy here. I lied. One more. Four of Light that we've got here. So light is wands in this deck. And now we're going to check out our Death Doula Oracle. This is absolutely an incredible deck, also fairly new to me. It's been out for a couple of years. It's a very sturdy box, high quality box. I got this from the creator she's on Etsy. Here's the Death Doula book. It has a really nice guidebook, comes with a couple of different spreads, rituals, lots of rituals and practice. This is an oracle deck that you really want to make use of. You get to use the book when you are pulling the cards. So I love the card backs here, by the way, too. It's gilded in beautiful gold, and it's very simple. You're seeing the white, and you just see like it's the potential point, right? A single gold dot. And it's bordered in the gold. So let's just kind of take a look at what this is about. So here we have the Four of Light, so the Four of Wands, and embodiment. Five of Light and truth. And I love this. Like there's a flash of light and some orbs, and we have all of the light coming out of the being in this Five of Light, Five of Wands. Six of Light, malleable. So we have almost like it's like a triangle, or it's forming a pyramid of light, and the being is at the top. And here we have this light distinction where we're seeing, the brook, and some of that brook has, the water has sort of come down. It's very shallow. And then we have the rocky energy and the trees up top, the light coming in. So very similar, darkness into light, darkness into light. Page of light. Sorry, we're getting a lot of wands here. Surrender. So that page of wands energy, the page of wands is always very curious and, inspirational. But you have to be willing to surrender to what is in order to really be able to step into that. So I feel that the messages are very complementary. Two of shadows, two of cups, techno cleanse. I like this. In order for there to be healthy, harmonious union and pairing, there does need to be a cleanse of sorts that occurs. And techno cleanse says, put the phones down and really focus on one another. Don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to emote. Don't be afraid to get to know each other. We'll do a couple more here. Three of shadows, thrombosis. So three of shadows is the three of cups, that celebration energy and thrombosis. And what I love about this is it's a chain link fence. So there's this barrier, but you're knocking down the barrier, right? What is the barrier that is keeping you from this celebration? Maybe it's an invitation to say, time to work through this so that you can have more of this. Six of fruit. Fruit in this deck is pentacles, and we have ritual. So, if we're at that Six of Pentacles energy, it's generosity, maybe making generosity a ritual, finding a way to incorporate it into your day to day. It's an invitation. The Chariot and calcination. I love this. So the Chariot in this case looks like a dolphin. And the person is on a shooting star. That is their chariot. And, so they're heading up when you've got this, it looks like a narwhal actually, but maybe it's just two dolphins swimming together. That's the blending of the opposites, right? Coming together. And you have this calcination. The movement of the chariot breaks through what has hardened, what is calcified, so that you can now move forward into something new. So I feel like it's really giving you the direction on where you want to go. When this chariot comes up, it's like, okay, what's been hardened? What's been hardened in the journey? Or what has been hardened as a result of, melding these two opposites together? Now that everything is in good working order, where's the cleanup? Where's the cleanup? Seven of fruit, seven of pentacles and true will. I love this because I often think of seven of pentacles as the harvest. And a true will, we have trees, right? But what's interesting is these are barren trees. So we've got opposites here. Where are you feeling that your harvest hasn't come in? And when we talk about your true will, what is it that you really are wanting? Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Maybe there's a timing issue in this regard. True will. Where is that in relation to you reaping your rewards? And we'll just do one more here. Eight of shadows. So eight of cups, walking away, delving deep, and pleasure. Yeah. Walk away from what no longer serves you, or walk away from the stigma of, you're a bad person if you want this or you desire that, and step more into the pleasure principle of things. Move towards your pleasure. Let go of the darkness and move into the light. So I'm just loving that particular combination. I would say to you that the Glimmer Walker Tarot is a deck that I am, I want to say like I'm learning to really love and appreciate it at this time. When I first got it, I thought it was really cool, but I was kind of like, it feels a little simplistic to me. I'm not sure if it's going to give me, the kind of messaging that I'm, sort of really wanting or really seeking. And the more I work with it, the more I realize, nope, that's not the case at all. I actually really liked it. So here is my third combination. We've got Under the Oak Tarot with the Oracle of Delphi. So this is Ofrid and Strega de la Mele. And Oracle of Delphi is Susie Cherub. And I have a couple of decks by Susie Cherub. And so again, at first glance, I'm going to say to you, the artwork is a little bit different. The art style is a little bit different. Even the colors are a little bit different. But again, the messages really work for me. They really call to me. And it's not like a full clash. I mean, you tell me what you think about this. But I actually really enjoy this combination, and I find it a bit delicious that it doesn't clash, but that that it is different. And I feel like in the differences is how I get the message. So obviously this is a Lo Scarabeo. It's got that, open lid, flip top. I don't know what to call it. It does come with a guidebook, and as with all Lo Scarabeo, it's in 4 different languages. I really love the messages in here because they're short, sweet, and to the point. But to be honest, the imagery in this card just makes me so happy. So I don't really have to rely on the book at all for the messages. It's just if I'm wanting something a little more on the deep end of things, I do it. It is gilded in silver. It is your standard tarot size, very good quality. Lo Scarabeo never does anything half-ass, so I really like that. I love the card backs here. Let's just go through a couple of them and sort of see what's going on. So it's very whimsical in nature. We've pulled the Tower card, and you can see, you'll notice that the heroine in this particular deck journey, she often is blindfolded, and a lot of it is because she's going through a dream, right? The Under the Oak Tarot is the fantasy, the dream. And, here she's got her eyes closed. She hears something. She doesn't know exactly what is transpiring, but she's feeling a little bit of the angst that's coming up. 7 of Pentacles. That card is showing up for us again. Here she is with her blindfold on again, and she's going exploring, and she's looking into this cave. She's following the coins, or following the money, following the energy, is what I'm hearing when I'm looking at this card. Queen of Pentacles. She's sitting on her throne. Her hair is all over the map. You see leaves around her. It's not like a traditional Queen of Pentacles where she's in her element and you see all of the abundance. Here I feel the abundance is in her knowledge. She's got this Ouroboros, the snake that is around her feet. She's holding a star in her hands, so she's manifesting. She's doing the work. She's got these beautiful orbs that are around her, the coin orbs that are around her. They're shining on her face and on her skin. That's just kind of a different approach. Here's the 10 of Wands. Here she is not blindfolded. And I feel like a lot of it is because she has a lot of support. She's taken the blindfold off so that she can be very clear on what it is that she really is wanting to keep and to celebrate and to move forward with, and what is now time to be released. I love that she's got her little goat and rabbit friends with her. The kings and the kings and knights in this deck are all depicted sort of with this statuesque kind of energy. And so we see the ravens coming up, the birds, and that makes sense with that King of Swords energy. Oh, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck, the 2 of Wands. She wants to go on a little adventure, but she's a little scared. So she takes her teddy bear with her, and her teddy bear keeps her safe and protected. And she goes and she gets to see the Aurora Borealis. It's just really, really beautiful. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles here. So we have a mouse that is standing guard over these beautiful crystals that are coming up. So I love this deck. This deck makes me so happy. And even though it's a bit, I want to say more whimsical, it really packs a punch when it gives you the messages that you need to hear. It's very clear. This is a beautiful oracle deck, prophecies from the Eternal Priestess, Know Thyself, Susie Cherub. And as I said before, I know her work. I really enjoy her work. This is a Blue Angel deck. And so, the quality of it is going to be stellar. It's got a gorgeous oracle guidebook. It is in color. There are a number of different spreads that they offer. And each of the oracle decks is in color as well. I like that it's in kind of bigger writing, larger writing style, so that you can see. I don't know if you can see that, or if I need to put it down here. It's looking fuzzy. It's looking foggy. There we go. Okay, I just have to hold it up a little closer for you guys here. But just beautiful stuff. She always gives a lot of information. We have the oracle's prophecy, the chakra that it is associated with. There's a talisman that you can connect to. Faith in action step. I always love that. I love me some practical application, alignment activation, artist insights. So there's just a lot. You can take the time to read the entire entry for the card, or you can just read the keywords. You can just read the little affirmation at the beginning, or you can do a deeper dive, and it's great for doing a study of things as well. So yeah, super cool. And then the cardstock is a little bit taller and a little bit more narrow than a traditional oracle deck. It's like a bigger tarot deck, a tarot card measurement. Very good quality. It's got that matte finish. And all right, let's do a little comboing so that you can see the method to my madness. So again, different styles, and yet right off the bat, let's take a look. We've got Four of Pentacles and the Alchemist. Already there is a similarity in the imagery. So the Alchemist, change, refract, infuse, and transmute with the Four of Pentacles. So when we're talking about the Four of Pentacles, it's that foundational energy, it's protection. Sometimes it's like hanging on to what you've got, being worried, getting stuck, not living life because you're, so focused on the scarcity of things. And so then the Alchemist comes in to say, hey, here's how you can shift and change. Here's how you can infuse a little more light. Here's how you can transmute that fear, go out and, make more. There's always more where that came from. The Fool and the Seer. See, enlighten, visualize, interpret. So there's an invitation here. Get out, go and have that adventure. And, she's got the blindfold on. This one is calling attention to her eyes, saying, no, take the blindfold off. Don't be afraid of what you see. Lean into it. Here's the Devil card and the Sovereign. So the Devil and the Sovereign: reclaim, preserve, govern, and remember. Of course, we see the Lion here, and right away the mind goes to the Strength card. So, of course, with these oracle decks, there's always a foundation. I feel like the tarot and the oracle kind of bleed into one another often. But this is really interesting. It's kind of like the Devil coming through, and then the sort of the energy of the Strength coming through. Remember your power. Remember who you are. You can overcome whatever these vices are that have you, have a grip on you or have a hold on you. Preserve yourself. Remember who you are. It's time to reclaim your energy. Eight of Pentacles and the Lion heart. Prevail, endure, dare, and confront. So Eight of Pentacles is the card of mastery. It's the card of details. You're doing the work. And when you do the work and you put your nose to the grindstone, you end up prevailing. You get the things that you need. But sometimes you have to be a bit brave. Sometimes there is that, those times when you're having to work and everybody else is out playing. And you're like, I wish I could be there, but I'm almost finished. So I'm going to endure. I'm going to dare to be different. I'm going to dare to confront the conformity in the world and do something differently. And therefore I find my mastery. Here we have the Four of Swords and the Guardian. Preserve, protect, defend, and shelter. It's perfect. When you are in a Four of Swords energy, you want to feel safe. You want to feel protected. You're going to sleep. You're saying, okay, I'm quieting the mind. I'm surrendering, I'm telling the ego, it's time for you to have a little nap. There's other shit we need to get done. And you don't want to feel too vulnerable to the point where you can't just go to sleep and feel safe. And so I love that the Guardian showed up. The Guardian's like, I got you. I'll preserve your space. I'll protect you. I've got you. I'm going to defend what you need. I'm providing you with the shelter that you need to get the rest that is required for you as you're moving forward. Nine of Swords and the Oracle. Lead, ask, listen, and trust. So Nine of Swords is that nightmare energy, anxiety. So when you're feeling anxious, ask the Oracle. Step into your leadership. Listen and trust. Trust in your inner guidance. Trust in what you're receiving. what you're channeling in, not what your mind is telling you, but really what your heart and your soul are telling you. Here we have the Two of Pentacles, and that's usually a card of resource and balance. And here we have the Sage: advise, acquire, invest, and accumulate. So when we're getting this, I feel very much with this Sage energy and the words that are coming up, it's going to be a message around money. Balancing that money. Maybe it's time to acquire something new. Maybe it's time to invest in something different. Maybe it's time to work a little bit more in order to find that balance. Where are you out of balance? Here we have, I love this combination. Wow, the Sun and the Love Maker. Love, give, receive, and be. It makes total sense. The Sun is about joy. It's about truth, that light of truth, and the Yes card. And I feel like this is basically saying, go get your freak on. It's time, because when we are in this space, in the physical pleasures, we are generating a different kind of energy that supports our dreams, goals, and desires, our manifestations out into the world. It is all about the energy. So the Sun is basically saying that's what you need. Get on it. 10 of Cups and the Sanctuary. I mean, look at this. The colors even complement one another. We've got these beautiful greens that are coming up and coming through. I couldn't have picked a better combination. That's great. So 10 of Cups and Sanctuary: relax, soothe, revive, and return. So it's kind of like, when we talk about this card as being, receiving the ideal, it's the ideal outcome, a time to evaluate what is coming up, what is coming next, and what is coming through. You want to be in a relaxed, soothing space. You want to take the time to embrace and enjoy what this is. You want to create your route to return to this space and this place, because you are going to be eventually moving on to the next new thing. But this is celebrating the ideal outcome. Okay, we'll do one more here. 8 of Swords and the Artist. Dream, design, craft, and create. What I'm really drawn to here is that, once again, she's blindfolded and bound. And this image here, they have no eyes either. The eyes have been cut off, and there's crystals and flowers and pine cones and nature that's growing out of the statue's head. But it is about dreaming big. It doesn't always have to look the way it's supposed to. When we talk about that 8 of Swords, it's a card of entrapment, but it's also a card of liberation. And it's entrapment from the mind, from the mental space. So it's kind of like, get out of your head and let's step into that soul flow. I think it's really interesting. Like, don't pay attention to what you're seeing. Pay attention to what you're being called to sort of open yourself into. So that is that combination: the Oracle of Delphi by Susie Cherub and the Under the Oak Tarot from Ofrid and Strega della Mele. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Feel free to comment, guys. You may be enjoying these combos, and you may also be sitting here going, oh my God, like, she's got the worst combo taste in the world. So for the next combination, I went with, this is a really interesting deck. So it's a funny story about this deck. This I got years ago in one of those like bargain bin sell-off things at Barnes and Noble. And it was clearly one of those beginners learn tarot decks. And it came with a huge book that I don't even have anymore. And the book didn't even like give the name of the author of the book. It was written for Barnes and Noble. And I remember just like being kind of intrigued by the pictures on the deck. And I thought, well, I don't know if I'm really going to like these or not, but it's in the bargain bin. It's tarot cards. Like, what's the worst that can happen? I can re-gift them. I can rehome them. And I found out I fell in love with them. I ended up using them that year for my year in preview service that I do every year around the holidays, at the end of the year going into the beginning of the new year. And people just loved it. And they always give me a great reading. Well, then I kind of figured out, this imagery looks very similar. And I realized her name is Tina Gong from Labyrinthos. So she must have done a deal with Barnes and Noble to ghostwrite and ghost create, this tarot deck for them. And so I'm just so happy that I decided to get them. They didn't come in a box. They just came in a sleeve, like an envelope sleeve in the book that I no longer have. They're a decent card quality. They're the same, standard size as a tarot deck. They're not like super great quality, but they're not awful either. And they are a little bit shiny, but not too shiny. And let's just kind of take a look at them. And we'll talk about the L'Oracle Inspiré by Émilie Dedieu. I'm loving it. You're gonna just love the combination that it creates. So we'll take a look here. The Three of Pentacles. I love the softness of the colors in this, but yet the images are really bold. Here we're seeing silhouettes of people, and the focus is on, in this case, the Pentacles energy. Here we have the Sun. So we've got these hands in the sky. The sun is the focal point, but we also have, sort of this peachy colored trillium lily, and we've got the black colored trillium lily. It's very simplistic in its shading. It's kind of like, I don't know what they would call that, duotone or tritone, and then they just use the shading from those colors, but it just speaks to me. Seven of Swords. So again, we see the person silhouetted, holding the sword, being sneaky, walking off. Clearly, they've stolen a sword from the hill. Here's the Knight of Wands. So again, the person, the knight, and the horse are in silhouette. You're seeing the flames being sort of the backdrop. The thing that you're drawn to is actually the wand when you're looking at this card because it's the thing that has the most color. Four of Pentacles. Interesting that one keeps coming up. It's apparently a pentacle day today. Again, the silhouette of the person, and the focal point is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. Again, Nine of Swords. Okay, this is another one that's coming up as well. So this is the anxiety, the worry, what you're anxious about. And here they're not so much in silhouette as much as they are in shadow. Oh, I'm just recognizing that the light is shining right on there. So here they are a little more in shadow energy. So still kind of keeping in line with that silhouette idea and concept, but you are seeing the person. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. And we have a fox, a rabbit, so the fox and the hare. And then we have this sort of Pegasus-esque creature. I don't know what the name of it is in it. And the Pegasus is holding the sword. And of course, we have the zodiac and the four elements represented in that Wheel of Fortune. So let's take a look at my combo and we'll see if you guys like it or not. So it's in a tuck box. It's a beautiful, really high quality box. It is, it's a French publisher, Édition Exergue. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. So the box is really nice. It's the kind of box that you can absolutely take with you when you're traveling, and it would definitely protect your cards. It does come with a guidebook. It is all in color. It's in French. So if you don't read French, just use your Google Translate to get through it. That's what I do. I read a little bit of French. I'm originally from Canada. It's our second language. So I read a little bit of it. I understand it, but I bastardize it. So I, when in doubt, when I really need to get the meaning of it, I will just Google Translate it. Look at the backs of these cards. They're fabulous. So we've got gold gilding. The card quality is exceptional. It's very thick. It's the same size as the tarot, so that's kind of nice too. It fits in very well. And let's just take a look at some of these images. So it's keywordless. It's just imagery. So we'll just take the Wheel of Fortune here, and we have music. So I would say when I'm looking at all of this, I would say there is a shift and a change that is coming to me around my vibrational energy. Around sound healing. I would also say, hey, maybe there's, I'm a lucky winner and I'm getting to go to a concert, being given free tickets to a music concert, something to that effect. Four of Cups and the Heart. And isn't that interesting? Four of Cups is when we feel a bit despondent. We're crying over spilled milk. We're, focused on the disappointment or the delay. And here you've got spirit energy coming through and saying, don't forget, have a heart, connect with your heart space. And it's highlighting the purple, which I feel is an invitation to get back to your roots, get back to the intuition and to the psychic aspect of things, because, your guides are holding out this full cup, but you're not paying attention to it because you're focused on other things. So you're loved, but you got to look around. The Hermit. I love this. So the Hermit we don't typically see with a crown, but I feel like the Hermit really helps you when you're on that hermit journey to find your sovereignty. And so that Hermit card, when you do that deeply personal self-awareness journey, it is empowering. It gets you to remember who you are at your core. So I feel like that's the kind of the message there that's coming through. Here we have the Magician. Ooh, and the Elephant. So elephants are all about their family, their community, the head of the household kind of energy. They're very sweet and loving, but they can also be not vicious, but I mean, they will take you out if they feel that you are upsetting the apple cart when it comes to their community and their family space. They're such beautiful, majestic creatures. And so it makes a lot of sense that we've got, the majesty with the Magician. And in this particular depiction, we have two sides of the Magician, right? So we've got the Pentacle and the Wands that are in the kind of, I would say, like the moonlight energy versus the sunlight energy. And actually, I'm looking at all the stars here, so maybe I have that in reverse, and the Cups and the Swords here. So there's just a lot going on. I would say that the Magician, if the Elephant is coming up, it's something around family, community, family ties. Also, we think of elephants in terms of like, what have you forgotten? What do you need to remember? So I feel that that's coming up as well. The Magician is like, okay, there's something you can't remember, or there's something that you've kind of forgotten about, and we're going to help you to remember it. Six of Cups, that nostalgia, connection to the past, moving away from the past. And here you have the Star card, a vision. Move away from the past and create something new. We'll just do a couple more here. Here we have the Six of Swords, and we have the Fairy. Moving on to calmer shores. I feel like the Fairy is coming through here to say, yeah, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to lead the way. I'm going to inspire you on this journey so that it keeps you going. But when you get to the other side, there's going to be just a whole new world for you to expand into and explore. Here we have the Lovers. Oh, and a baby. So like, if I were to get this combination, I would say, okay, either fertility issues, right? Pregnancy, be careful, double wrap it. If that's the case, if you don't want to get pregnant, or this Lovers card, the reflections that you're making, the choices that you're making, you are gestating a new idea, and it's an idea that comes from love. It's an idea that comes from source energy. This could also represent your health because of the caduceus here, health energy. Wow, that's just so obvious. 10 of Wands. Sorry, 7 of Wands. So 7 of Wands, this is the card that actually kind of changed my mind about how I feel into the 7 of Wands energy. And here, I don't feel that it's about a card of defense for her as much as I feel that she is standing on the podium and all of these people are coming to her because they want to light their wand from her wand. She's got knowledge and wisdom that they're wanting to learn from. And so for her, it's up to her to make sure that she's got enough energy to be able to share and give. And then when she needs to pull back, that's where I want to say that defensiveness comes from, or boundaries comes from. And here we have the Mars and the Venus coming through. And so I feel like a little bit of balance, needing to know your energy. The divine masculine is very much about externalizing your information, connecting with all of these people. But the Venus energy is like, okay, so now you've talked to everybody for 2.5 hours. You need some water, you need a pee break, and maybe you need a little bit of a rest. So where is the balance in all of that? And I feel like that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. So I'll just show you just a couple more of these beautiful images. So here we have, this makes me think of fall. autumn. It's the Canadian maple leaf, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Here we have a lotus flower. So, you know, that lotus energy comes out of the muck and the mire. Here we have a compass connecting to your true north. Here we have two fish, a fish and looks like an octopus floating around. Here we have the scales of justice. So that is that combo, which I find very peaceful, very soothing. I find that, you know, when I'm really needing something that is a little more gentle, that's what I go with. All right, we got two more combos, and I don't want to make this this video too long, but this is going to be another one of those ones that you're going to look at me and you're going to go, huh, really? You're going with that? And I'm going to say to you, yes, I am. So check this out. This is the Tarot Illuma, Katina Lux. It's one of these beautiful magnetic boxes that I just love. It does come with its own guidebook. It is all in black and white. To be honest, I've never used the guidebook, or can't remember if I used it. I love the colors in this card. It's gilded in silver. What you're seeing here on the back is these are also the vibrancy of the colors that are in throughout the deck. So let's just kind of take a look. It's the same size. I want to say that same size as traditional tarot. It's excellent quality, nice and thick. So let's just kind of take a look here. We've got 3 of Wands, and it's almost like a Jedi, right? It's like the sabers, the lightsabers. Here we have the Chariot, 8 of Swords. I love that they're swords, but not really. It's like almost like shards of glass or like spear tips. 4 of Wands. This is very Jedi. I hear Samuel L. Jackson saying, yeah, I'll take that role, but I want a purple lightsaber. Here we have the Realm, the world. I love that they called it the Realm. Lots of that rounded energy. Yeah, this deck really speaks to me. Queen of Cups. The Fool. All right, and so my oracle for this is The Secret Language of Darkness, Soul Light Transmissions from the Shadow. This is Denise Jarvie. And I also have her Secret Language of Light. I think it's by the same author, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same author. So she did The Secret Language of Light, and now she's done The Secret Language of Darkness. And you're going to notice with this one, so we've got, you know, like these are borderless, but they're very dark. These actually have a white border. This is also a Blue Angel. So the box is really solid. It's very, very, very high quality. Look at the thickness of this guidebook. I mean, it's ginormous. Colors, they do colors, color imagery. Of course, I have to hold it up for you guys to be able to see. It's larger printing, which I like, so that you don't necessarily have to have your glasses to read it or to see it. This also, you know, always has like its inspired insights, reflections, actions, journal work on top of the message that the card gives you. She gives you keywords. Shadow Mastery Class. So there's always a meditation that she provides there too. So it's really, really high quality. This is definitely a Blue Angel style oracle deck. So the cards are bigger, excellent quality. It's got that rose petal finish to it. Just check out the imagery on the back. Like, oh my God, I love it. We've got some DNA swirling going on. We've got a lot of sacred geometry in here. And now let's just take a look. So bear with me. You guys may or may not like this combination, but I love it. So we've got the 3 of Wands. This is a card of expansion. And we've got guilt. A past stronghold is no longer true for you. So how I would read that is, okay, I'm about to expand. Well, what is causing my expansion to not happen? Or what could possibly get in the way? of that expansion. Guilt. Where am I holding on to guilt? Queen of Coins, self-awareness, observe from a balanced perspective. Well, the Queen of Coins definitely is a queen that observes. She sits in her, garden of plenty, and she's always willing to share her wisdom and knowledge. She's like, hey, come and, take whatever it is you need, and I'm going to teach you what I know and how you can, do this for yourself so that you don't necessarily need me all the time to do this. You too can do this as well. So I love this. And even the colors, like they're similar, but not quite. And, this is bordered in like a cream color. So we've got borderless and a border. Normally that, my Virgo sensibilities would kind of be freaking out, but I really like the combination. Here we have the 7 of Coins. So again, we're getting that 7 of Pentacles that just seems to be following me today. So harvest, reaping rewards. Shadow name, unlock the mystery of your shadow. So when I look at this, you're seeing that, there's light coming from this shape, this series of shapes, and you've got sort of the sunrise or the sunset here. And here in the center, you've got it's a rounded shape. It's not a diamond shape. It's rounded, but it also is beaming out light. So when we're talking about, sort of harvest, reaping rewards, it's connecting to your shadow so that you can access all of the rewards that the universe is trying to provide to you. I feel like this would be a good kick in the butt to say, hey, it's time to do a little bit of shadow work. When we talk about the shadow name, find out what your shadow name is so that you can make it your friend. So that you can reap the harvest. So many times we settle for what is. We settle for what we feel most comfortable with, what we feel we're worthy and deserving of. But that there's so much more available to us. Here we have the Knight of Coins, and then we have forgiveness, release resentment to regain balance. What I'm noticing here is the structure of each of the cards. This Knight of Coins or Knight of Pentacles is pyramid on top of pyramid, and then a reverse pyramid. It builds on itself. Well, here we've got 3 figures that are building upon themselves. We've got the meditator, we've got the heart, the flying heart, the heart with wings, the angelic energy, and then we've got the actual core heart itself. So I just love that synergy, and symmetry in the cards. And then Knight of Coins, Knight of Pentacles, it's that he's the knight that's a little bit on the slower side of things. He takes his time to get there. And maybe that's because you need to forgive. And that's why things have been slower, because it's time to release that resentment so that you can have the balance that you're seeking. Both of these cards are very balanced. 6 of Coins. So generosity, right? And sometimes greed. Contracts. This is also my card for contracts. So one of my cards for contracts. And here we have 28. Conflict. Know what you dislike. Focus on your likes. So looking at this, we've got synergy in the roundness of things. And I think that's really interesting as well. We're talking about that generosity versus the greed. There's an inner conflict that you're having right now. Maybe there's somebody who's asking you for money and you really don't feel like you can give it, or you just don't want to give it. Maybe there's a resistance to being grateful to the universe for something that is a little hard to swallow. You're trying to move past a situation. Understand what it is that you don't like about the situation so that you can shift your focus, and then you can invest or reinvest in the things that you like the most. I'll just do a couple more here. The 3 of Cups. Wow, we're just getting a lot of similar cards today. So 3 of Cups, that celebration, celebratory energy. The wounded adult. Healing is feeling. Wow. So loving the energy that's coming through here. We've got a lot of red in this card and red over here. So I feel that there's a lot of connection in these colors, even though the style is a little bit different. The color palette actually is a little bit different. I feel like this is basically saying you've been stuck, you've been hiding, you've been licking your wounds, you've been in grief, it's time to get out and celebrate a little bit. It's time to remember, that there are other things out there that you can focus on, and that's going to bring your healing. Bring about the healing. This will be our last one here. The adversary. The adversary is the devil in this deck, and we have the dark night of the soul. Ego patterns soften, and soul wisdom emerges. Well, I want to say this would very likely be the devil card in this oracle deck, if there was a devil card, and it's pairing up with the devil itself. So again, the imagery has some similarity to it, or has some symmetry to a certain degree, but maybe not 100%, but the message is spot on. So yeah, just like really, really incredible. I'll show you a couple more of these. Journey into darkness, know your heart, your dream and dreams, dream work, messages from the unconscious, resistance, obstacles to your flow, projection, the world as your emotional canvas. And then I've got one final combo for you guys today. Thanks for hanging in if you're still here. And this one, again, very different, totally unexpected. You're even going to be able to tell just from looking at it. You're like, what? So we've got very like stark black and white. We've got very modern. We've got a lot of glitz, bejewel, bedazzle, and then we've got all matte and like fall colors. But trust me when I say the messages with this are just incredible. So this is the Guiding Light Tarot. It's a premium color edition. It is by Victoria Ivanova. And this is another magnetic box. It comes with her little bio on the thing. There is a guidebook. To be honest, I don't really use the guidebook all that much. This is a deck that really speaks to my intuition. It forces me to use my intuition, and you'll understand it in a second. So standard tarot card size. Cardstock is excellent. It's shiny. It's very thick. I don't think this is gilded. Oh yes, no, I lied. It is. It's gilded in silver. So beautiful silver gilding. It's got the pentacle as its backing. And let's just kind of take a look. Here's the 10 of Cups. I also did a full deck review of this, by the way. So if you wanted to see the entire deck, just look for that deck review. I think I called it, Is This Your Deck, Your Guiding Light or something. So you can see it's not a pip deck per se. Each card has its own story, but it's very unique. You'll see what I mean in a second. Here's the 9 of Swords. Again, another card that seems to be following us in this reading today. We've got the moon, so you can see that it's at night. There is a void point, and then all you're seeing are the stars. You're not seeing, or the swords. You're not seeing the person. So it forces you to really go in and try and figure out what the messaging is. Oh, here we got 10 of Swords. So we do have a figure here, and the figure is like those dissected bodies or whatever, where you're seeing the muscles and the sinews and the tissues. It's like you're learning about the body. You're a medical student learning about the body. I'm going to try and get some different stuff here. Here's Hanged Man. And this is really interesting. It's like suspended, but also almost looks like it's torn, like you're seeing into a little bit of a portal of things, also like a cocoon, wrapped in a cocoon. Here we have the Queen of Cups. So the cup is on the head, and there's, a little bit of that, I want to say that third eye energy that's coming out. But the rest of it, like, you would never look at this and say, okay, Queen of Cups. You have to go into the imagery to really understand. Here's a beautiful one, 9 of Cups. You've got that pastel kind of energy that's coming up and coming through. Here's a 6 of Pentacles. Another one that's following us. So that greed or that generosity. Here we have the King of Wands. So all of the wands are kind of the spiky on his head. He's in profile. We're seeing parts of the body that have been exposed, and he's in a cloak. So very different deck, not the kind of deck that I want to say, is going to be everybody's cup of tea. And then you're going to look at this and you're going to go, oh my God, Stacy, what are you thinking? So the Queen Maeve Oracle, Tess Whitehurst, Divine Feminine Wisdom from the Queen of the Fae. So again, it's a Blue Angel quality cardstock, quality card deck. Just bear with me. It's really for me about the messaging and what are the messages? Are the messages working? Are the messages, what are they saying to me? And the guidebook is absolutely beautiful. That again, larger text color for all of the cards. It gives you a little bit of an affirmation to work with, and then it's just the message. So it's not like it's giving you a bunch of things to do. It's clearly just like, let's get to it. Let's get straight to the heart of the message. And it's larger. Obviously, if we're looking at a tarot, it's a little bit bigger than the tarot. It's definitely, I would say, a standard size of the Blue Angel. I love that when I look at this card back, it's not a spider web, but it looks like a spider web to me. It's actually sacred geometry that gives the illusion of the spider web. And so I always feel like this is like, what is it that I'm weaving? What is it that I'm weaving? It's that kind of a rose petal finish, not exactly great cardstock quality. It's matte, and I like that matte energy. All right, so bear with me. So we have the Spirits Riseth, 22, and here we've got the King of Wands. So what do we know about the King of Wands? It's that confidence energy. It's the entrepreneurial card. So like a lot of confidence, a lot of courage, a lot of bravery, resourceful, somebody that everybody likes to kind of be around, that kind of energy. And here we have the Spirits Riseth. You look at this figure here, she's got the spikes coming out of her head. I mean, I couldn't have planned this. She's got spikes coming out of her head, just like he does. Her spikes are red. He's the Wands energy. She is working to pull the spirits and to have the spirits maybe do her bidding or bringing the spirits to life. And it is in a triangular or a pyramidal fashion, just like his cape. And I feel like the energy when we're talking about this here is she is saying, I have the courage to go back. I have the courage to look at what I've compartmentalized, what I've put away or tried to bury, and I'm ready now to face them. Six of Swords, that support and grace, moving on to calmer shores. Her pale fire. So this is somebody who looks like they are, I want to say, they've had a rough time and they're taking a bit of a break. Her pale fire, it's time for her to recharge her fire, to recharge her energy. And she's doing it by the light of the moon. She has this big sort of moon crown on her head. And here with the Six of Swords, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, we see the people in the boat, and it's usually during the day, but it can also be at night. And I feel like they're showing a night and day situation here with the point of pure potential, which I feel matches this moon energy in the background. Here we have, again, the Seven of Pentacles. Oh boy, whoever's watching this, we're having a Pentacle Swords window of time here. A raging fire of fever. And it's a 7 as well, 43. What I find really fascinating about this is even though it's so different, you can see how the two cards kind of speak to one another. They're having a dialogue. And her hair is kind of rising up almost like it could be the leaves and the branches of a tree. We are seeing tree branches behind her. I don't know, I'll raise it up a little bit so that you can see a little more of that. So there are tree branches that are all around her. And we have that Seven of Pentacles, the tree imagery and the tree energy. And I feel like here what it's saying is, again, if we're talking about that reaping of rewards, well, there's always extra work that goes into that. And she's kind of like, oh my God, okay, I'm happy that all this is here, but man, oh man, I've got to conjure up some rage in order to be able to get more energy to be able to move forward. I've got to do more work, and I'm just really exhausted. I'm really angry that I have to do more work. Like, I'm happy that the stuff is here, but I'm angry that there's more and more work to do. And so how do I conjure that fire within me? How do I conjure the energy to be able to move forward and to get done what I need to get done? Because it's a tall climb, you know, and I'm not a good climber. So maybe my rage can get me through it. I feel like when I look at this, it's kind of like the end is near. The reward is here, but you still have to jump through a hoop in order to get it. And that's where that rage is coming from. It's like, why can't it just be handed to me? Queen of Pentacles, follow darkness like a dream, 44. So she definitely looks like a queen. She's got the stars and the moon around her. There's a lot of starry night energy. Queen of Pentacles here, we're seeing sort of the insides of her. Once again, it's almost like you're seeing those model dummies for medical students to learn from, to practice on, things of that nature. And so I feel like when we're doing this follow darkness like a dream, I'm seeing a lot of high priestess energy here. And so when the Queen of Pentacles comes up, it's really about that resource energy. But I feel like, has she been so used to that, all that has been manifested, maybe she needs a little more of that high priestess energy, a little more of the inspiration or the connection to source energy, because there is something more that she's wanting to create, but she's maybe forgotten a little bit about it because she's gotten used to her creature comforts. So I feel like follow darkness like a dream. It's time to get out of the comfiness of what you have. Follow the darkness, because in the darkness there is adventure. There's the unknown. Knight of Swords, something rich and strange. Ooh, and I love this color combination here. We do have obviously the black and white, a little bit of sepia, and here we've got the black and the sepia with a little bit of white. Knight of Swords, impulsive energy, go get them, kind of in them's fighting words, holding firm to a contract or to what people said. Excuse me. And here she's saying something rich and strange, and it's a 33. It's interesting. We had a 22, a 44, now a 33. Just pointing that out. That's kind of funny. Something rich and strange. I feel like it's like she's observing this knight. She's observing what he's doing, and she's maybe pulling some strings. I would take this and say, you know, if I'm the Knight of Swords, who is it around me that maybe I might be giving my power away to, that might be pulling my strings? Or who is it that's watching over me? Am I kind of in a mode of learning? And this is the person who is mentoring me in what it is that I'm supposed to learn. Something rich and strange is about to happen. I'm heading into there. But if I'm going full speed ahead, I might miss the rich and strange part. And so maybe this is a message to slow down a little bit. I just think that's really interesting, the way those two cards are interacting. All right, we'll do one more and then we will wrap up. Judgment card. Oh, I love the Judgment card. And these violent delights. Well, this is freaking perfect. So in the regular Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, when we have the Judgment card, we have the angel that calls forth all the bodies that are in the coffins to rise from their slumber, to rise from the old version of themselves and come into the new, right? And I feel like when we're looking at this card and this card as well, they're really paired up well together, because it's like, okay, you've got a decision to make. Are you ready to come out of the darkness? Are you ready to live the life and get your skin and go and do your thing? Or do you still need to, kind of do one more kick at the can? And these violent delights, it's saying, yeah, there's a lot that you have gone through. It's been difficult. It's been a challenge. There is a shipwreck here. But if we think about it from that human perspective, or that soul having a human experience, we signed up for this. We created a lot of these violent delights, and they're all here to help us to grow. So the question is, are you ready to grow a little bit more in a new direction? Or do you still feel like you didn't get the lesson from the old version of you? Do you need to go back around that one more time before you're ready to move forward? And just the imagery in this, it's like an invitation to recognize, okay, that the shipwreck is done. Like, you're never going to save that ship. Let that ship go and move forward, move on, see what is on the shore. and see what can come for you on the other side of it. So that is my deck card combo for, we'll see for the foreseeable future. We'll see how long these are my favorites, and then I'll switch them up. But I hope you got something from this video. I always really enjoy sharing my love of tarot and oracle with you guys. Please feel free to, put in the comments what you think of my color combinations, if you think I'm batshit crazy, or if you thought they were kind of interesting, if maybe they sparked a little bit of, interest or inspiration into you. I would love to hear all about that. And otherwise, guys, until I see you for the next video, I hope you have the most amazing one and transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.